Okay guys, today we're going to be checking out the brand new Invictus Aqua 2024. And so, I mean, at this point, you guys know the drill and what's been going on with Invictus Aqua. We got 2016 discontinued, 2018 discontinued, although they did run the 2018 one for quite a bit longer than the 2016, but then that one got discontinued as well. And then we didn't really have Invictus Aqua for a good couple years or so, I would say, as far as production and being able to get it easily, maybe a year or so. And obviously there's other alternatives out there too, but they're bringing it back, and it looks like they're really bringing it back. Just from pictures I've seen online and how this one is described, it kind of looks like they're bringing back the OG. So let's go and open this box up. It is sealed, so we're going to see it together for the first time, and of course we're going to smell it and we'll see if it compares to the original, if it compares to the 2018, if anything has changed, what's going on. Now, this is very exciting, and anybody who's been watching my channel for a while knows that I'm a big fan of Invictus Aqua. So when this one came out, it was definitely something I had to get, and it's looking promising. Okay, so here is our bottle. It's got that frosted glass look. It looks pretty similar to the 2016 to me, although I do see a couple differences. If we put them side by side, this being the new, it's a little bit more clear, whereas this one has a little bit more of a tint to it slightly. Okay. The other thing you're going to notice here, let's see, is they just go by Rabanne now, not Paco Rabanne anymore apparently. So it just says Rabanne, whereas on the old it says Paco Rabanne. And then the most notable thing you'll probably see is on top of the new one, you've got the logo on the atomizer button. Okay. I don't know if you can see it very well. It's not showing up, but logo, whereas the old does not. And I guess, I don't know, this one's kind of dusty, but the finish on the metal looks a little bit different, but it could just be because the old one is old at this point. But there's our differences as far as bottle presentation. So if you are going to be out there trying to score one of these, look out for those things. That way you know what you're getting. Let's go ahead and spray this one on because we're all curious, you know, and then we'll talk a little bit more. Beautiful. God, it feels like it's back to me. It really does. The 2018 was never really what I wanted from it. It was a little bit more watery. It didn't have that same type of punch that the 2016 had. And I feel like it's back here. Okay, it has that OG style, that strong aquatic note with a bunch of ambroxan, right? It's really, really coming through, and definitely feels a lot more similar to the 2016 than the 2018, just off the first spray. And it's to the point I don't even need to spray them on side by side to come to that conclusion. But I will go ahead and put the 2016 on my other hand here, just to kind of do a side by side, even though, again, I really don't necessarily need to, but I mean, wow. That OG smells great, but the new one smells great as well. So kind of what I was wanting to say is I believe this is being rolled out as a limited edition, so which I guess maybe the others were as well, whether they marketed that way or not. They're being more upfront with it this time and saying produced in limited quantities, limited edition, right? And I believe it's a UK exclusive as well. So I'm going to read a little bit from iFragrance here on this one. The brand's cult favorite is back. Invictus Aqua Eau de Toilette is back once more with its powerful aquatic vibes. The hero is face to face with the grandiose of the sea, masterfully balancing the contrast of the fresh marine accord with the enticing and warm amberwood. The new version opens up with grapefruit oil with its bitter aromatic essence that soon bolsters the intensity of marine notes, and finishing off with powerful amberwood that grants an irresistible masculine scent trail. So that kind of gives you the notes: grapefruit, marine notes, amberwood. You know, again, it's Invictus Aqua DNA. You know, one thing I'm noticing here, having them side by side, I still do think that maybe the new is slightly more kind of fresh and clean and slightly more soapy, a little bit, not a ton. Still very similar to that of the 2016, more so close to the 2016 than the 2018 was, where you could tell that there was a variance going on. And I think that maybe that was intentional, 2016 to 2018. Maybe they wanted to make it a little bit more of a difference, right? But I do think that it's definitely being marketed as such to go back to the 2016 here with this one, and they're doing a good job at it as far as the scent is concerned. You know, as I mentioned, it's an eau de toilette concentration, just like Invictus Aqua 2016 was as well. So if this can perform anything like the 2016 did, it's going to be a phenomenal pickup. Because at this point in time, if you can get other options out there, Rasasi Howis and Legend Spirit and things like that for less, and you know, they perform fine, then not everybody's going to want to hunt this down. You know, I don't think this is going to be something that everybody needs to purchase, just being honest, because there are those other alternatives out there. So don't feel as though you need to rush out and get this and hunt for it, is what I'm trying to say. But you know, for me, someone who has loved the Invictus Aqua DNA ever since it first came out, and you know, it's one of my favorite summer DNAs, it's worth for me to get and to spend some money on. And I think a lot of it's that nostalgia factor that a lot of people experience with a bunch of different things. One thing I'm noticing as well here is I'm still going back to this one and doing it side by side. They're running in parallel, pretty close. The other thing is my bottles of the 2016, they're older. They could start to change a little bit. I store everything really well. So, you know, we're comparing something very old, essentially. We're comparing something older compared to something that's brand new, right? So there could be some differences in the scent from that as well. But it's coming across strong. That's one thing I'm noticing. I mean, obviously we're not going to go over performance today. That'll be covered in a future video, but I don't foresee this one dying off after a couple of hours. I mean, man, it's pushing, it's kicking strong, and I think it's going to be a good performer, I hope. I mean, this DNA, it's just built for summer. You know, at the end of the day, it's such a fun, playful, easygoing, aquatic scent. Not getting a ton of sweetness out of this either, and you really don't get a ton of it from Aqua 2016 either. But you know, when you go for something like Rasasi Howis, it does have more of a fruity sweetness. This does not. It's more of a powerful marine, fresh, ambroxan-based scent, right? So it might even be a little bit more summery than some of the other alternatives out there. I'm really happy to have this stuff, guys. It's super exciting, and I hope that it gets a little bit easier to get here in the US at some point. I'm not 100% sure how that's going to play out, but I would like to see it, and I think it would be stupid not to bring it over. I don't know really what they're doing and their thought process behind that, because this is a scent DNA that sells like crazy. I mean, people love this stuff. It's proven to work. So I don't really think they're taking that original DNA and rebottling it. I do think there is a little bit of a variation between this and the 2016, but they're still very close. And again, definitely closer to the 2016 than the 2018, which is just fresher overall in a different type of way, more watery and not as kind of pungent and ambroxan heavy, which is kind of what makes this DNA work. Like I said, in a future video, once I have more time to wear this one, we'll be going over performance and all that stuff, because I'm pretty curious about that. And so I'll keep you guys updated. But yeah, that's it. Invictus Aqua 2024 limited edition release. I'm really liking it. It smells fantastic. The OG smell is back. Bottle is back, which I think looks amazing, and it looks a lot better than what the 2018 did. The scent is back, and it's very close. Not exact, not 100%, but very close. I mean, you know, for people who like that original, this is essentially it. It's about as close as you're going to get right here. So that's awesome. Quality is fine too. I mean, it's never been something that's been buttery smooth and you know, something that you would buy for the quality. Rabanne, they make great fragrances, and you know, they're going to be on sometimes the upper end of the pricing a lot of times, even on discounters. So you get what you expect. It is a very synthetic smelling DNA. That's just how this stuff has always been. That's part of the reason why it works so well, because it's so synthetic and so strong. I mean, that's what people really want from this. So let me know down below if you're excited to try Aqua 2024. I'm super glad to have it, and I'm glad I could cover it for you guys. Definitely going to be something that I'm going to be hitting hard, even though I've got 2016. I've got all of them, right? I've got Howis and all that stuff. This kind of reignites that spark for me. This gets me excited. You know, it feels good to have this back. And if it's going to be possible for people to purchase, that's really exciting too. You know, if it gets to the point where it hits discounters and it's relatively easy to get, you know, that's pretty cool. Now, once this one comes into stock over here in the US on discounters, I will send out an email and a text to my mailing list and texting list, which you can sign up to down below. You're not going to want to miss out. This stuff, when it comes in, it's going to sell fast. The only way you're going to be able to be notified is if you're on my mailing list and texting list. So make sure you jump on there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.